Good afternoon, everyone. Today, I wanted to speak to you about the 5 most important weight loss tips that I can give you. And why can I give you these? Well, I've worked with patients who've lost anywhere from 350 pounds down to 5 pounds. So there are some themes that I see across successful patients and some things that I see that patients who are unsuccessful don't pay attention to. So what are those? Well, I think there's a few. Of course, you know me, I like to make a list. Let me pull up my list here for you. Okay, number one, I think it's really important. The number one thing you need to do, you do need to pay attention to calories. So I know what you're thinking. I thought you could eat a plant based diet and never count calories. Well, I say yes, but. So, number one, I think people, first of all, they underestimate how many calories they actually consume. Interesting studies have shown that people who are trained as registered dietitians, so these are individuals who basically help people know what to eat on a daily basis so they understand the macronutrients, the calories, and everything involved with food. But you can absolutely overeat your needs even on a plant based diet, especially if you're consuming oils or high calorie dense foods such as nuts and seeds, nut butters, things like that, maybe some refined grains, flour products. Those type of things can add up very quickly, especially if you're on kind of a female side of things and already smaller, have low muscle mass and things like that. So what do you do? Well, I'd recommend you download something like MyFitnessPal or Cronometer and basically keep a food diary for at least 1 to 2 weeks. What you're going to understand here is it's going to be highlight your food. And I mean everything, liquids that have calories, any type of food that goes in your mouth. And people are going to be quite surprised that a little handful of this, a little bite of this, that all makes a difference. So then how do you determine how many calories you should actually be consuming? Well, there's a few nuances to that, but some generalizations are you're going to want to get your ideal weight. And what would that be? You might want to start with, if you're significantly overweight, with a BMI over 25, or even if you have a BMI between, let's say, 23 and 25, maybe shooting for around the BMI of 23. Of course, there will be some differences based on gender, muscle mass, and some other things. But the whole point here is we want to try and get lean by maintaining your muscle mass, but getting rid of the body fat. And so first of all, let's just see what your caloric needs actually are. So there's going to be a thing called a BMR, a basal metabolic rate. You can get a calculator online. It's easy to do. Type in your height, weight, gender, age, and then that'll give you your basically BMR as if you were to lay in bed all day and never do anything, how many calories your body is using on a daily basis. Then there's going to be typically a little graph of some sort that says, okay, what is your activity level? Are you sedentary? Are you exercising 1 to 2 times per week, 3 to 4 times per week? Do you have a very physically intense job like construction, things like that? And that'll give you a bit of a grade of the calories to maintain your current weight. And that's where you want to start. But then when you look at that, let's say it's 2,000 calories to maintain your current weight at your current activity level. You may want to drop that maybe 100 calories. That should be your new calorie goal, right? So, but before you even do that, I would do a solid investigation of how many calories you're already consuming, because just that in and of itself will be mind-blowing. And then you can take that information, like, maybe I don't need that snack of dates, little amazing cocoa ball things, nuts and seeds and dates with there are 300 calories each. That's an easy thing to remove. So anyway, so that's what I'm just going to say. Start there. The other important thing is maintaining your protein. You want to shoot for minimally 1 gram per kilogram, which is every 2.2 pounds. So how do you figure that? So you take your body weight in pounds, divide by 2.2. That is your weight in kilograms. That would be your minimum protein needs. You probably would even want to go up to 1.2 to 1.4 if you're doing weight training to maintain muscle mass in a caloric deficit. But there's some nuances there. But I have a solution for you guys at the end of this video, so just hang tight. So that's number one, underestimating your calories. So pay attention to calories and give you some tools on how to do that. Number two, overestimating caloric burn. Some people are like, well, if I run this far, or I do my jump rope, or I'm exercising, I burn this much so I can add that back to my calorie intake for the day. No, don't even look at it. The calorie burn it's not reliable, and what you just want to focus in on, what are you putting into your body, and using that estimation of that BMR plus your activity level. That's where you want to start with, and you can adjust accordingly. Look at it week to week. If you're not losing weight, adjust a little bit, maybe bring it down another 50 calories to 100 calories. But you don't want to do a severe caloric deficit, because that's going to allow your BMR or your metabolic rate to slide to a really slow down, and now we're in even more trouble. We're going to be losing muscle mass and body fat, but we want to lose body fat and maintain as much muscle as possible by doing resistance training, body weight training, some type of weight resistance exercise with higher protein intake and a slight caloric deficit. All right, so forget about the caloric burn. Just don't even put it in your addition. Just focus on what I told you there. Next would be really not paying attention to the nutrients, right? So people get very restrictive. Maybe they do just fruit, or they do just veggies, or they go on this very restrictive type of diet, I don't know, grapefruit diets, whatever. Now we're going to be missing some very important nutrients. So then you get poor nutrient balance. You're not doing enough calories to sustain your activity. You don't feel well. So this can really cause a lot of issues, especially if someone is trying to lose weight and just sticking to like processed junk food, and maybe trying to do lower calories that way. It's really setting you up to not feel good. Messes with your sleep, messes with your hormones, and a variety of different things. So definitely want to eat whole plant foods. So fruits, veggies, beans, whole grains, especially those beans and non-starchy vegetables. That is going to be an amazing way to help lose some weight, and maintain satiety. So there's some things there. And then also these lack of sustainable habits. I think people try to go too hard too fast, right? So they cut their calories way back to like 1,200, then they're fatigued, or they're trying to exercise 2 hours a day when they were couch potatoes before. These things are not sustainable, guys. So what you want to do, focus on the diet so it's still building satiety, feeling good. You're in a caloric deficit, so you will lose the weight. But you want to do small habits. When it comes to exercise, if you are really busy and it just seems overwhelming to start any type of exercise, just do something like for 5 minutes every day, or 5 minutes 3 times a week. Whatever you feel like you could do without a sweat. Maybe it's take the stairs. Maybe it's walk around the block. Maybe it's jog in place for 5 minutes. Whatever that looks for you, just start moving your body more, and then see what you can stack upon it as that habit becomes ingrained. The nice thing about building habits is you can put them anywhere in your day. So if there's something that would offer kind of as a trigger or a complement to the activity you want to do, for example, walking your dog. Maybe after you walk your dog, you can go for a run, or you can go a little bit further. Maybe it's after you walk the dog, you're already dressed up like this, you can go to the gym, or you go to the gym and then walk the dog. Whatever that works for you. So think about small, sustainable habits. There's a whole thing on how to build habits. There's a whole thing on how to stop bad habits. Again, I got one more thing for you, and then I got a great resource for you. And I think this is really the most important thing, is the psychological factors. People ignore the psychological factors. So paying attention to, why are we struggling? Why are we eating emotionally? Why are we eating without being hungry? These are some really important things. Stress and emotional eating can make it really hard to stick to a healthy diet and to maintain healthy habits. So what do you do with that? Well, I have been working with patients, like I said, for many, many years, had some really fun success with patients. So I created a program that's called the Psychology of Weight Loss and Mastering the Mental Game of Weight Loss. And what this is, it's a 12-week online course, and you get it delivered to you. You can go through all of the videos if you like, but it's 12 weeks. You get a daily journal prompts, and an ebook that comes with it that has everything outlined. Along with that, you get monthly live coaching with myself in a group setting, and that goes on for 3 months. So the main thing here to understand is you're going to master that, understanding the psychology habits where you struggle with the yo-yo dieting. You get the cravings, what to do. I really walk you through what to do each and every day on understanding what cravings are. How do we even begin to build the habits and the skill set to master the cravings and the urges? And it's not a lot of hard work. It's just changing your mindset and understanding a few things. So I go and explain what habits are. How do you get them? How do we change them? And then we talk about the 5 things that you should be doing on a regular basis to lose weight. And that is the cream on top of the cake, so to speak. So I hope you find this helpful. There's a link in the bio below or up in my, depending on where you're watching me, there is a link, and click it out. If you don't see a link, go to Dr. Marbus, click Psychology of Weight Loss course, and I would love to see you there. So thanks for watching, everyone, and have a great rest of your day.